All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing a little trade recap. Past 2 days have been break even. Some pretty good setups. Just price action has been slow for my model, which is okay. We're going to come back strong because honestly, if you can survive this price action, then I think you can survive any sort of price action to come in the future. This has definitely been the most difficult trading environment this year for me personally, okay? And even still, we're coming out break even, maybe a little bit on top depending on your risk. But check out the view behind me real quick before I jump into this. Just moved into the new pad. Let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go. All right, let's jump into the charts here. Okay, so today is Wednesday, March 4th. I didn't do any update for yesterday. So we're going to go over the past 2 days. Like I said, pretty tough price action, okay? Drawn liquidity has been correct both days, but finding an entry has been very difficult. So let's actually go back in time here. To Tuesday, okay? So Tuesday market opened right at 9:30 and we pumped the upside. Let me go back on like the 3-minute time frame. Okay, so actually I believe we took a trade in 1 minute. Yeah, we actually did take a trade on the 1 minute time frame here, right here. And this was a valid loss in my opinion. I should have waited for the 2 minute to inverse looking back, but I like the speed momentum. We were delivering from a 1 hour. We swept liquidity. So to me, this was a valid short, okay? So market opened to the upside. We did have draws and liquidity lower, okay? We had this low resistance liquidity here. That was a pretty clear target for me. I knew we were gonna run this liquidity. It was just a matter of finding an entry. So perfect 9:30 open high, takes out liquidity. And then the very next candle, I believe, boom, death candle, okay? We get a death candle perfectly inversing this 1 minute bearish gap here. On the 2 minute time frame, we didn't get that closure on the 2 minute. So if I could do something different, I would have waited for the 2 minute. But guys, sometimes you just miss the trade waiting for the 2 minute because the 1 minute has so much speed momentum that a minute later, it's already down here. So I kind of knew the risks going into this trade. And to me, it was a valid setup. It was a valid loss. I would probably take this again. You know, mechanically speaking, followed all of our rules. So we entered right here. And again, this was technically a break-even trade as well. I just got filled like on the next candle. I literally got filled as we were taking out this internal low. So a little bit of a late entry or a bad fill, at least for me personally. But this should have been, technically speaking, a break-even trade. Okay, stop loss above that inverse. And then again, you know, targeting the sell side liquidity down here, instant stop out. Okay, so we didn't have a crazy big stop loss. We got stopped at like 40 points. It is what it is. And then we got that move. Okay, we got another manipulation move with a 1 minute V-shape indicator. Called this one as well. And this was the one that ended up actually running all the sell side. So a little bit unfortunate. We had the correct trade idea and the correct draw on liquidity. We were just like a few minutes early, which honestly happens. It hasn't happened to me in a long ass time, but it happens. So this was when most people got off in the live trading inside the group. Okay, most people got off. You know, it's 10:30. We've been on for an hour, and I was like, guys, I'm staying on because this looks like accumulation here, manipulation, taking out London lows, and potentially distribute back higher. Now, why was I interested in taking longs here? Well, we had this like equal high on a 5 minute and we had an untapped 4 hour at the time. So we had an untapped 4 hour. So even if you're bearish, you would still expect price to come up and take out this like relative equal high on the 5 minute and tap into the 4 hour. And also we had this very nice move down with bearish gaps. So I was like, okay, if we V-shape the first presented 5 minute gap here on this leg down and we get a V-shape, I'm going to go long. So everyone got off the live, of course. You know, missed out on the trade. It is what it is. That's why if you still have draws and liquidity higher, even if you have a losing trade, the way that I trade my trading system, the rules that I follow, if I have a losing trade, I don't get off. If I still have a clear draw on liquidity, then I will look to take more trades, right? Because like, why would I get off if another setup could present itself and then I can make back the loss, which is exactly what happened. So we're gonna let price play out here. Reason I was looking on the 5 minute is because this was the first presented highest time frame fair value gap on this leg down. And then boom, we get that 5 minute inverse. Was this the best entry? No. Okay, this was kind of a late entry. I was not going to front run or anticipate the 5 minute inverse. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to wait for the confirmed inverse. It was right here. Stop loss was at the bottom of this candle. You know, ideally you'd want to see this push up quickly. And this is where we entered the second trade of the day, which was a long. break even here, and target the 4-hour gap for around almost a 2 risk to reward ratio. And I believe we fully closed it at this bearish SMT here for like a 1.5 RR. And this one ended up running a little bit more. So in terms of risk to reward and in terms of like actual points, we were up like a 3R on the day. In terms of actual points, in terms of like RR, we were up like 0.5 R. I ended the day in actually a little bit of a net negative because I took this on less risk, okay? I took the first one full size. I took this one like half risk. I took this on like 2 or 3 micros. So I pretty much made back the loss on that first trade. But looking back, what I've sized up normally, potentially, I really wouldn't want to see 2 full-size losses in a day though. So honestly, happy with how I played Tuesday. And then we'll jump into the trades this morning as well. So let's get out of replay mode here. So let's see, what trades we take this morning. Once again, draw on liquidity has been correct every single trading day over the past, like I swear to God, since this year started, like I have been calling price to a T. It's actually insane. Like, and I post all the recaps on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube as well on my brand channel. But like the draw on liquidity has been correct. It's literally come down to finding an entry, and it's been really tough for me to find an entry. So market opened this morning. My bias was bullish, okay? Why was my bias bullish? Because we had already taken out this high, this 4-hour high the day prior. So this would be considered, you know, high resistance liquidity, right? Like we took out this high here. We already tagged into that 4-hour gap. Like why would I still look for longs? And the reason is we were displacing to the upside. We were displacing to the upside with speed and momentum. Let me go to the right time. Okay, yeah, right here. With speed and momentum, respecting bullish PD arrays, okay? As soon as I saw this here, respecting this 1-hour bullish gap in pre-market, by the way, we got an A+ continuation long in the pre-market. That our indicator called as well. If I turn on the indicator, here it was on the 5-minute time frame, even on a 3-minute, a little better entry. Beautiful continuation long, part of our new indicator. Our newest indicator is actually cracked, guys. Like you can blindly follow the signals, damn near be profitable. It's that good. But A+ continuation. But anyway, we were respecting this bullish 1-hour fair value gap, displacing to the upside, creating new, what? Creating new 15-minute bullish fair value gaps. So my continuation model is still valid until we inverse this 15-minute gap, okay? Now, I know we were delivering from a 1-hour bearish gap, but just look at this price action, guys. Like clearly making higher highs and higher lows. Like this is bullish price action. I'm not gonna fade this type of momentum. Okay, it's not smart until we inverse this. If we inverse this, then yes, I would have had a bearish bias, but we didn't. We were holding this bullish 15-minute gap here. So I was looking for longs on market open. Okay, so same sort of thing, right? Accumulation. We had that manipulation inside of the 15-minute gap. Right? Obviously, this sell signal was not valid. Even if you took it, it would have been break even. Because bias was long. And then we took this trade right here. Which was it? Was it a 1 minute? Yeah, it was this 1 minute here. This was an eval trade. I didn't take this one personally, so I'm not even going to count this as like my win. But again, we took out the internal highs. We had a bullish SMT here on a 1 minute with ES, which was the only reason I took this trade. Okay, so NQ took this low. ES did not take this low. So we did have a bullish SMT followed by a V-shape inverse. And my draw on liquidity was just correct. That's the only reason this trade worked, right? Like I had a very confident draw on liquidity higher. So this was like a simple 1-to-1 on evals. So if you were in the live trading on evals, you should have passed or almost passed evals like with this trade, like a 1.5 RR on this eval trade. And then we did take this. I took this on my live account as well, a 5-minute continuation long. Again, as long as price is creating new bullish 5-minute and 15-minute gaps, I continue to take longs, right? Until proven otherwise. Why am I going to go against a trend? So this was my 5-minute entry right here, delivering from a 15-minute bearish gap. We had a clear inverse fair value gap here. I know I longed into premium, okay? I understand that this was a late entry, right? We're longing into premium, but guys, we did have draws and liquidity higher, and this was my mechanical entry model. So I had to take this. I did take this on half risk as well because we were delivering, you know, so high into premium and taking longs. But that is why we use our stop loss to break even at the internal high. So moved our stop losses to break even at this internal high. Immediately get stopped to break even. It is what it is. We would have saved ourselves, or we did save ourselves what would have been a losing trade, if I can speak correctly here. Okay, so W risk management, guys, on this pretty much the entire month so far. We have had impeccable risk management. The only loss that we took was the trade yesterday, and it was a good loss. It followed the rules, was technically a break-even trade. I just got a horrible fucking fill. But anyway, this one would have hit take profit, maybe. No, it wouldn't have. Maybe. No, this would have been a break-even trade regardless. But I was targeting like a 1 to 2 RR, which it would have hit, obviously, later in the day. But guys, this was just chop price action. I don't want to be a part of this. So it is what it is. That is the recap over the past few days. If you guys want to follow all of my trades live, get access to my indicators, click the first link in the description below. Leave a like if you guys have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more trading content. I'll see you guys next video.